Assalamu alaikum, all of my dear students in the Department of English, Third Year Students, College of Education. Today, our lecture is entitled Emerging Uses of Technology in Language Teaching and Learning. Now, by technology, we mean technological resources that teachers and learners can use around the world. Different technological devices can be used to enhance the process of language learning and teaching, like computers, mobile phones. And also, we have a very important idea, which is the idea of the internet, which connects millions of computers around the world. It makes it possible to communicate from one computer to another. So, you know that we have the World Wide Web, which provides information over the internet. It has enabled teachers to find authentic text. These texts could be written, spoken, or audio and visual text on most on most any topic imaginable. Different topics around the world, we can find text and information about different topics in the whole world, and this includes the process of language learning. Computers also provide the means to access online dictionaries, grammar and style checkers, and concordances. So, in this case, it's very useful in the process of language learning, for example, to use a dictionary on your mobile phones with that to provide you with the meaning of words and also with the pronunciation of different words that you want to learn. There are two types of dictionaries: the dictionaries that need internet access and dictionaries that can be used without internet. Both of them can be used electronically on your mobile phones and can be considered as very important devices for language learners. Technology is no longer simply contributing machinery to making authentic material or more resources available that teacher can use. It also provides learners with greater access to the target language. As a result, it has the potential to change where and when learning takes place. Furthermore, it can even shape how we view the nature of what it is that we teach. So, according to the new ideas, and as you know now, according to your experience in electronic learning, we can learn language in different places. We can learn language at educational institutes, and we can learn at home by the use of technology, by the use of computers, mobile phones, and the internet. So technology has changed the way how language learning takes place and where language learning takes place. So technology makes possible greater individualization, social interaction, and a greater students' motivation. Number one, we can learn individually. We can learn depending on our personal efforts by using different technological devices and different internet sources. At the same time, we can have social interaction together and also according to different sites, and it depends on the device and the position or the web that you are using. And it also helps students to or motivates students to learn language. Sometimes the students feel that the process of language learning is more enjoyable and it is easier when it is available on their computers or on their mobile phones, when they can get help from the internet to understand any point which is difficult. So in this case, we can consider technology as a motivating factor to the process of language learners. At the same time, as technology enhances language learning experiences, it also contributes to reshaping our understanding of the nature of language. It's not a fixed system. So, accordingly, language is not a fixed system. Instead, it's always changing and being changed by those who use it. So, internet and technological devices help us to understand the new changes. For example, we have many words which have been changed or in relation to pronunciation, new words which are introduced. And these words sometimes are related to the word of the internet or to the word of using different technological devices. So the internet or technological devices help us to understand the changes that take place in relation to language production. Now we have a number of terms we want to understand. These terms are related to the use of technology in relation to the process of language teaching and learning. First, we start with the idea of a blog. One rich source of language text are blogs. Blogs can be understood as online diaries or journals. The word comes from combination of web plus blog. Blogs can be private and controlled with passwords, or public depending on the desire of the author. Most blogs allow for visitors to post comments. So, writing a blog is considered as a kind of a practice when we write the blog in the target language, so we try to write it in a correct way. And visitors can post comments. Comments can also post it in the target language, so in this case, they provide an idea of social interaction or language is used as means for communication. Since the blogs are written by people remarking on their travels, daily life, current events, they are rich sources of authentic material. We mentioned that it is very important to use authentic material to know how language is used naturally by native speakers of the target language, and at the same time, it helps us to understand the let us say culture of the target language by understanding the lifestyle of people who speak the target language. So, blogs are available in many languages and are often created as an open source, which makes them searchable via any browser and any search engine. So, in this case, as I have mentioned, writing a blog or reading a blog and posting comments is considered as a kind of language practice. Another important idea, which is very familiar to you, is a social network site. A social network website such as Facebook is accessed via the web. Participants have their own home pages, as you know, on the site, to which they add personal information, links to other online sources, photos, etc. And of course, you are all familiar with the Facebook and you have your own home pages. So a participant has friends who are other participants with whom they choose to be connected. If someone is your friend, you can see information and photos he or she has chosen to share. So you can share, you can post whatever you like in the target language. You can write comments in the target language, and this is considered as a very useful device for developing your target language proficiency, especially if your friends in the Facebook are your colleagues in a language learning course or in any study institution, so that you can exchange your information together, or you can let us say communicate and connect with native speakers of the target language in order to receive feedback about to what extent you are successful in using the target language. Another important idea with which you are familiar is the idea of YouTube. And of course, you have personal experience with using the YouTube to enhance your experience in language learning, since we post links from the YouTube that includes videos which are useful in language learning. Actually, not only language learning, they are useful in learning in any field. The YouTube is a website where one can watch and share short videos. Most YouTube videos are available to anyone who has a high speed connection to the internet, and the range of topics is very wide, including actual videos from language classroom, lectures, and small adventures from everyday life. So you are familiar with this idea, and I think it's very clear. Another idea which is used is Wiki. A wiki is a quick way of being able to create and edit web documents. Wikis are very useful in collaborative writing tasks, and they are very good for highlighting and observing the process of writing. So they are especially important in practicing writing. Students write web documents and they practice the process of writing through this idea or the idea of wiki. The prefix wiki comes from the Hawaiian expression wiki, which means quick, and it refers to a quick way to create and edit web documents. Wiki can be very useful in collaborative writing tasks. Multiple authors, a group of students can write one text together. So also, it is considered as a useful device in language learning and especially in practicing writing. In a classroom or a situation where the teacher depends mainly on using technology and technological devices in language learning, the teacher can give the students different online tasks. First, the students are asked to update their blogs. Second, they are asked to visit and update their Facebook pages and respond to classmates' pages. 3. Think about and do some research on the wiki topic. As I have mentioned, the students are required to participate regularly in online tasks. The first task, they have been asked to maintain an online blog in which they regularly record their experiences in learning English. Some students have used this as a record of a new vocabulary or to comment on a particular English language website. Other students use their blogs for personal reflection. In this case, they write about what's happening in the class or what they are learning. They also discuss experiences they are having in finding ways to use language or reactions that others, such as tourists or visitors, have to their use of English. Each student has also been told to comment on at least three other classmates' blogs every week. So it's not enough to produce or to provide or maintain a blog, but also to comment on the blogs provided by the colleagues in order to practice the language naturally and in order to talk about something which is considered as authentic or something related to real life situations, and this helps the students to learn the target language naturally since they communicate with colleagues. The second ongoing task is that in which the students have created a profile on a social networking site. Their teacher has chosen to use Facebook, where many of the students had a profile already. Of course, most of people in the whole world have profiles on the Facebook. So the students have to log on to Facebook a minimum of 3 times per week in order to read what their classmates have posted and to update their status They have also been encouraged to respond to the updates of their classmates. The same idea that it is not enough to post ideas on your Facebook account, but also to comment on your colleagues' what they have posted and to communicate with them. So the students are encouraged to respond to the status updates of their classmates. In addition, as in the nature of social network sites, the students each have their own set of friends who are not members of the class and with whom they also exchange information and updates. So it is useful to communicate with your classmates as well as with your friends, especially if your friends are native speakers of the target language you are learning. This will be very useful for you. The final online task, which is provided by the teacher, the students are asked to do some search for the wiki that they have created with classmates. The students think about and do some research on the wiki topic. They should each write a rough draft of the new material that they want to add. So after the students prepare the material that they want to add, they want to add, they write a draft and send the draft using emails to the teacher. The teacher reads the draft and he provides them with notes, and the teacher will comment on the drafts and return the drafts to the students electronically and archive or save the students' drafts electronically. Now, these are the most important terms which are related to emerging technology. In relation to language learning, we have a number of questions that we need to answer. Number one, what are the goals of the teacher who uses technology in enhancing or in the process of language learning? The teacher seeks to provide the students with access to authentic language. Number one, we mentioned or talked about this. The language should be used in interaction with others and in relation to knowledge creation. So, here we have two ideas. First, we have social interaction by using the target language, and second, we have knowledge creation. Also, learning to use technology to support one's language learning is also important because it makes students more autonomous learners. This means that they depend on their personal efforts and they depend on themselves in learning. They can learn in an autonomous way. So in this case, they depend on their personal effort more than depending on the teacher. The teacher only adds or creates activities that help the students to use the target language to interact with other people, whether classmates or different friends on different websites. What is the role of the teacher and what is the role of the students? As I have just mentioned, that the most important role of the teacher in this case is to create and plan activities that students accomplish via technological means. Then the teacher monitors the students' work and guides the students as they learn language. The student's role is to be actively involved in using the language, so the students are supposed to write wiki or to participate in providing blogs or updating their status on the Facebook and commenting on colleagues' work. All these ideas help the students to be actively involved in using the target language and taking risks with language by connecting with others and exploring information via the target language. The students help each other to learn. When they communicate with each other, they help each other to learn. How is language viewed and how is culture viewed? Language is seen as a tool for social interaction. So first, it is an idea of social interaction, especially if we use the social media and developing relationship or relationship building and for knowledge creation. So this is the way language is seen. First, the students use it to interact with each other. Second, to develop relationships. And the most important idea is knowledge creation, creating knowledge of language. It is used for students to learn about everyday life or culture of speakers of the target language through their online interactions, such as those from e-pen pals. They can also visit and learn virtually about different parts of the world. So these are the